Are you unintentionally devaluing your role? Are you unintentionally devaluing your role? Now, I believe that there are three components to every role. And there are three things that you want to measure to see if you really are operating at the level that you ought to be. Those three things are your title, your compensation, and your job function. Your title, your comp, and your job function. And if you want to know whether you are operating at the right level, those are the three things you have to measure to see where you rank and stack, right, against the average person in the function. So for instance, we all know that not all directors are created equal. Not all VPs are the same. You're going to have a variation in different people doing different roles. You could have the same title as VP, but your comp may vary, and certainly the job function may vary. And I want to spend today talking about the job function piece, because what I see quite often is that I see people who have the title. You've gotten the title, but perhaps the way that you are navigating that title, the way that you are showing up in that title is not really doing it justice. Yeah, you're doing the job, you're fulfilling tasks, but when you look at who you're being in the job, it is not quite at the level that will put you at the 1% of talent in that role. Right? And this is so important because if you want to be promoted outside of that role into the next role, you really want to be operating in that 1% of talent, because not everyone who's director will make it to VP. Not everyone who's VP will get to SVP. Not everyone who's SVP will make it to chief. And so the people who make it to the next level are those who are clearly head and shoulders above their peers in that same role. And oftentimes we look at comp because it's an easy way to evaluate where you fall. We talk about pay bands, right? You're familiar with the conversation around pay bands. You want to know whether you fall at the top, in the middle, or at the bottom of the pay band. Well, what about job function? Are you at the top? Are you in the middle? Or are you at the bottom when it comes to the job function? And that is what we are going to dive into today, okay? Because ultimately, the experiences that you're having in your current role are what will set you up for the next role. So quite simply, if you are currently a director who has aspirations of becoming VP, but while in the role of director, you are not really performing as the best director. You're not allowing yourself to have the range of experiences and learnings that you ought to be having in that role. Well, when you go to interview for VP, it's going to fall, you're going to struggle in that interview because the things that you really should have been doing with that title were not happening. Hopefully this is making sense for everyone.